Hi everyone, welcome back to Novel Nomad and welcome to my spring TBR. Yes, that is right, spring has sprung in Australia and it is a glorious day, so I wanted to do my spring TBR. Now I don't often do TBRs because I have trouble sticking to them, but I think I should be pretty good with this one. So fingers crossed I do end up reading all of these books and I can do a fantastic spring wrap up at the end of November. So my TBR I've broken up into 4 parts because they kind of go into little separate categories of why I'm reading those books. So starting off with part number 1, it is my book club TBR. So in my book club we're currently reading The Art of Being Normal by Lisa Williamson. This is our September pick and I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm not too far in, but it's really dynamic, the 2 different voices of the youths that you follow. It's a really great example of trans YA. In October we're reading My Life in France by Julia Child. Yes, that Julia Child of the famous cooking reputation in America. And if you didn't know Julia Child from America, you might also know her from the movie Julie and Julia. That is representing Julia Child, but apparently her biography is amazing, so that's going to be a great October read. And then going into November we will be reading The Selection by Kiera Cass. And the girl who selected it for our group sold me on it because she said it's going to be like The Hunger Games meets The Bachelor, so that's going to be hilarious if it is, and I cannot wait to read that one in November. Part 2 of my spring TBR is possible Victober reads. Now last year I didn't get to participate in Victober, which was run by lovely Katie at Books and Things and Kate Howe, but Kate Howe has mentioned Victober when I've talked to her recently, and it got me into thinking that I haven't read many classics and I want to read some more. So it is without further ado that I announce the book that I really want to finish in October. Yeah, this is getting a bit embarrassing now, but I have an incentive in there because in this book I'm using my Mr. Darcy and Elizabeth Bennet magnetic bookmarks, and in order for Mr. Darcy to get to Elizabeth Bennet I have to finish a section of reading. So in order for Elizabeth and Darcy to survive, I must read this book before the year is out. Part 3 on my spring TBR is World War II historical fiction. Now I have been recommended, selected, purchased, been given as gifts so many World War II historical fictions because I absolutely love reading them, and I have a huge plethora to choose from. But for spring I have selected just 3, not the entire pile, but just 3 to get through. And the first one I've already started, and that is Lilac Girls by Martha Hall Kelly. Next one is No, sorry, there's only 4 H's, by Laurent Binet, which is a French translated work and apparently is very good. It was recommended to me by a lovely person at Dymocks Adelaide, so I have to read this one. And finally, The Alice Network, which I have talked about before on this one. I started it, but I didn't get around to finishing it because I wanted to pick up the book club book and get that one started straight away. So I'm going to continue with this one. It is basically about the lady spy network set up during World War I and has terrible ramifications into World War II. So I am looking forward to finishing this one off. The part 4 and the final part of my spring TBR is Japanese inspiration reading list. I am planning a trip to Japan currently. I've always wanted to go for a very long time and I am finally going, but as always with trips I need to have some fictional, non-fiction inspiration, so when I get there I feel utterly connected and the scenes of the books that I read just come alive. So I do have a little pile, not as big as my World War II pile, of Japanese books, but I've selected one from this list for spring, and that is Flame in the Mist by Renee Ahdieh. Now this is a YA fantasy. It's a bit lighter because I'm reading Bleak House and some a bit heavier World War II fictions, and so I thought I might go for the YA angle on this one. It follows the daughter of a prominent samurai and gets mixed up in some fantastic ninja business. So I'm not giving too much away with this one because I don't want to get too heavy into the synopsis, just so I can experience it as I read it. But it sounds super fantastic, and anything with ninjas and Japanese folklore is perfect. Alright, so those are the books on my spring TBR so far, but please let me know down below if you have any recommendations for Victorian novels besides Bleak House. I have read a few, but I need to read Bleak House, so just give me some short ones, short stories, short Victorian novels would be fantastic. If you have any favourite World War II fiction, let me know as well. And please, please, please let me know any favourite Japanese fiction or non-fiction that you felt had a great sense of place, history or folklore. So that's all from me. I'll see you all next time. Bye!